Hey everybody, welcome to You Have to Watch This podcast. I'm Alan.
I'm Ryan.
And I'm Devon.
And it's December. It's hard to believe.
December.
It's already December.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can't believe that.
Holiday season is here. So we're going to start off the month by talking about one of the first of several holiday movies we're going to be covering this year.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a movie I have seen.
Yes.
Ryan had not seen.
Nope.
And Devon had not seen.
For some reason.
It is the 1988 Richard Donner film, Scrooged, starring Bill Murray and Karen Allen.
So did he come up with the idea for this movie before or after he ate his family?
Who?
Donner.
Not that Donner.
Oh no.
Not that Donner. God. Anyway, Richard Donner, the director of Superman the movie, The Goonies,
Yeah.
Lethal Weapon 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Which I'm a fan of. So yes, I know.
Yeah.
I just love making that joke with him. Just love.
So usually we get into when was the first time you saw this, and usually I ask you guys that question, but now I get to go. So
Okay.
It's been a while.
Okay. So Alan, when was the first time you saw this movie?
I don't remember exactly when. I don't remember exactly when the first time I saw it was, but I do remember only ever seeing this on TBS.
Yeah.
So it was weird watching it this time without the TBS Superstation logo in the corner. But I will say when I went back and rewatched it for the show today, I did watch it on VHS.
Okay. Yeah.
And my
we
VCR
saw-
still works.
Yeah.
This would be so good on VHS.
It's the best way to watch it. This is one of those films that is made for VHS. And believe it or not, I just bought this VHS in the last 3 months.
Where? Where did you buy a VHS?
At a flea market outside of Harrisburg.
I hate to be
Good
this
answer.
person, but really, VHS? It was made to be watched on VHS?
Oh, absolutely it was. I agree completely.
No.
You don't get the full range of Bobcat Goldthwait's voice unless you get the distortion of the VHS being out of sync a little bit.
As long as you spend
know how-
10 minutes trying to get the tracking right on
I just
on the screen.
I said to my wife when we started watching it, back away from the mic a little bit. You're a little close.
Yeah.
I said to my wife when we started watching, it's like, is it going to bug you? The tracking's going to make that noise throughout. She's like, probably, but I don't care because this is awesome.
Because it's worth it. Yeah, I
And-
streamed it. I felt like it was too high quality. Like
Yeah.
I felt like it needed to be toned back a little bit.
Exactly.
No, I didn't think that at all.
I mean, VHS on my HD TV in 2018, it was exactly what I needed it to be.
I'm ashamed of both of you. I'm ashamed.
You're just jealous that I have a
I'm
VCR.
not jealous. I have VHS tapes of the original Ninja Turtles cartoon. Do I watch it on those tapes? No. I watch them on DVD. Why? Because it's better. Because it's
But part of it is just the joy of VHS, just putting it in, knowing you have to rewind, forgetting you didn't rewind. All of that it's part of it.
Yeah. Like I had to, I wanted to go back and rewatch parts of this, but I was like, I don't feel like waiting for it to rewind. And all of that.
I don't need to say anything more. You guys played my arguments for me, so I don't have to even be like,
No,
don't
instead
have
of
to
going
play
back on the
it.
tape, I just went to YouTube and I was like, oh, okay, it's here.
oh
Like,
my God, both of you.
There's also nothing better than having to rewind a tape but not having seen the movie before, so you just close your eyes so you don't accidentally see spoilers in reverse. That's like the best.
That's why you get one of those self rewinder setups. The one
nobody has those in 2018.
No.
who watches a movie on VHS in 2018 and it doesn't have a rewinder for crying out loud?
I mean, I have the VCR itself. I just
Oh my God.
watch something else and let it rewind.
That's how you
And I think
ruin a
you-
VHS player.
Is it?
You rewind
Yes.
it at the end of the thing. No, it'll auto
It breaks
rewind.
down. Those rewinders were made to
Okay,
save
let
VCRs.
me clarify something. This VCR that I have is from like 2001, so like it's the end of the VCR, so it's still kind of like better
I
tech.
bet it makes some noises it didn't make a couple years ago, does it?
I don't know.
Would-
Literally, I went to put in this VHS tape, and there was a tape in it already. I took it out, and it was a. Did you ever hear the Thin Man series? It was a series of black and white movies from like the 1950s.
Yeah.
No, I've never heard of that.
Well, my wife and I bought the box set of all of them at the library for like $1. And like
Yes.
4 years ago, we watched the first one, and I hit eject on the VCR, and the tape of the first one came out. I was like, wow, we haven't watched a VHS in this long. Like, God. Like, I remember watching that, and that was several years ago. So,
And I have to say too, Sony definitely lost out because Beta was better.
okay, let's talk about Betamax.
Wait.
For
Yeah, wait. It was better?
Beta was better.
In what way?
The better sound, better picture. The only reason why it didn't take off was because Sony didn't make the cassettes large enough to fit 3 hours or 2.5 hours of basically film on it. That's why it failed.
That's all. Do you want to know another reason why it failed?
Because of porn.
Because of
porn
porn.
industry wouldn't take it.
The
Wait,
porn-
really?
Yeah.
Porn industry embraced the VHS tape.
Yeah.
Kind of just like
Oh.
they embraced the Blu-ray over the HD
Oh,
DVD.
Mm-hmm. And
I
that's
heard
why
about
Blu-ray
that.
became a thing.
Yeah.
Because Sony reached out and actually made sure that their product was going to fit for their industry.
Yeah.
Because
Oh
that's
my
how that
gosh.
plays out. Yeah.
I didn't realize it was that big of a pull.
Digital downloads are a big thing because the porn industry started
Well-
on that first.
It depends on what porno you're watching.
True.
If I can't watch it on VHS, I won't watch it.
Anyway,
I love how we went off on this tangent.
anyway, getting back to the focus of today's show, Scrooged. So this is a pretty much a Christmas Carol set in the 80s at a TV station.
Which
So-
fits, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the first time you guys watched it. I watched it on VHS tape. You guys streamed it?
Yep.
Yeah, Amazon.
Amazon?
Yeah. Amazon.
Nice.
Let me guess, you paid the $3.99 to rent it to watch it?
I actually have a Stars subscription, and it was free.
Oh, screw you.
Nice.
I know.
So Ryan, I'll start with you since you had to pay to watch this. Was it worth it?
I want my $3.99 back.
Really?
Really?
Oh no!
Oh,
Okay,
no.
now here's the thing.
Nope.
Here's the reason why. I like Bill Murray in it. Okay?
Mhm.
I do like Bill Murray. And I was kind of happy that Bill Murray was just playing Bill Murray. Like his jokey type, going off on tangents, the close up with him the close up with him with the facial expressions and him just going
Mhm.
off on saying his stuff about, well, what if this? Well, why that?
Okay.
Well, why can't I do this? Like, I liked all of that.
Mhm.
I felt like I was watching something that was made for TV.
Okay.
Interesting.
I'll love to watch certain scenes from this and love to watch certain clips, but as a movie, I'm not that big of a fan of it.
So if you were to watch this on like TBS, like if this
I'd
if
give
this
it
was
time.
on, you
Yeah.
put it on.
yeah, on TBS,
Okay.
if there was nothing else on.
Okay. Devin, what did you think?
I loved it. I had this really big aversion to Christmas movies for a really long time, so I haven't watched a lot of them. And I had also had this huge Bill Murray phase in high school that, Alan, I think you were there for, where
Sure,
I
but-
watched Stripes like every day
Stripes
for a
is
very
an
long
amazing
time.
movie.
And I'm actually really pissed at myself that I've never watched this movie, especially during that phase, because I would have loved it back then, but I love it now. And I'm just making up for lost time. There are just so many little aspects of this movie that I love for very niche and very Devon reasons, but and I want to get into a lot of them, but I love it.
Okay. Well, real quick before we go too much further into this, I watched this with my wife and we laughed the whole time. Did you guys watch this with your wives or did you watch it alone?
I watched it with my wife and my mother-in-law.
Okay. What did they think?
My wife fell asleep,
Okay.
and my mother-in-law picked up her laptop about 5 minutes in.
Okay.
Oh no!
Devin, how about you? Did you watch it alone?
I watched it by myself. Yeah, my wife was close, and I sometimes said hi to her, but that's it.
Okay. I was just curious.
Yeah.
So this movie opens on the North Pole, and I always forget about the opening of this movie.
That threw me off at first. But
It was
then
one
I
of my
figured once the rockets were coming in, I was like, okay, so either the South Pole is attacking or this is this is some type of commercial or some type of play or something that he's
Yeah.
directing. this has to set up the storyline in some way. Like, Bill Murray's not going to come in and be like the fixer for the North Pole or something.
Yeah.
So then as soon as they showed like the shadow, like commando people start shooting into the building, then I figured, I'm like, okay, this is like a commercial or a movie, or they're in a movie theater or something.
Yeah.
Like, that's just the way that this is playing out.
Well, have either of you ever seen UHF with Weird Al?
I have. Ryan.
That's what it
I
reminds
haven't.
me of.
Ryan.
Like, it reminded.
Yeah, that's on Ryan's list.
Yeah, it is.
Oh man,
And all
I would
three of
totally...
us are big Weird Al fans.
Yes,
so...
I'm a huge Weird Al fan.
And you haven't seen this?
I haven't seen UHF.
So good. Anyway, that's what the opening reminded me of, and that's why I loved it right away. Like, it started out like, because I mean, I think Weird Al even has a song like "The Night Santa Went Crazy," where like Santa shoots people, and I'm like, this is right up my alley already. I love this movie.
But the reference of Lee Majors, the $6 million man coming in, does not work in 2018 as well.
No, it doesn't. But I caught it.
Yeah. So I completely forgot about the opening of this movie until I watched it again. I was like, oh man, this is going to be fun.
Oh yeah.
So this movie stars Bill Murray, like we've talked about. It also has Karen Allen, who we all know from Raiders of the Lost Ark. Mm-hmm. And that's the only Indiana Jones movie she appears in. Mm-hmm. We're gonna acknowledge that she's in.
The only one.
Bobcat Goldthwait as the guy who gets fired the day before Christmas.
Which I have never seen him without a beard until now. Or
I've
never recognized him.
Are you used to NPR Bobcat Goldthwait? Because he shows up a lot on Wait, Don't Tell Me.
If he had so the voice the voice that he does,
mm-hmm.
the voice that he had in Hercules as one of the two minions, is that played up a little bit? Because if it's played up, then I may not have recognized him on the radio.
It's a voice that he does or did. I don't know if he can do it anymore.
Yeah, okay, because I remember him with a beard making that voice, being kind of like the dumb, silly, drunk friend, that type of thing.
He's stepped away from doing that voice. He's become more of a director now.
Yeah.
And producer. So he's more behind the scenes, but I remember he was on a podcast back when I was in college. And they were asking him about the voice, and he's like, "Yeah, it's just a thing I did with my stand-up, and it took off." And then I was like, "Well, I guess this is my voice for a while."
Yeah.
And like they asked him if he could still do it, and he's like, "I could try, but it's not going to be as good." And he I think he gave it a shot, and it was like a little off, but it was still kind of there. But
does it like hurt his vocal cords? Because I feel like it must like put some strain on something.
It had to make him squeaky.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
Like it had to have damaged his voice a little bit somehow.
I mean, it's a great voice. Don't get me wrong, but
yeah.
And then we have David Johansen as the Ghost of Christmas Past, Carol Kane as the Ghost of Christmas Present, and then
there was a lot of people in this.
A puppet as the Ghost of Christmas.
a puppet, a terrifying puppet, by the way.
Oh my god,
I love that puppet.
Weird.
I
thought it was cool,
especially the little like 3 demon people that lived inside its chest.
This movie, like it's so 1980s Tim Burton.
Yeah,
that's the first thing that came to mind, actually.
And I think that's because of the music. Like it's Danny Elfman doing the score, and even nowadays, like if you listen to this score and the Batman Returns score, the la 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 la, like it's like spot on the same thing. So I think Danny Elfman was just like copy and paste.
That's what we talked about on
He's like,
one of our first podcasts.
Yeah, I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna take my Scrooge theme and my Batman theme and just mix them, and Batman Returns.
Yeah, because we talked about that when it came to the theme for the Pirates of the Caribbean theme and the Gladiator theme were almost identical.
Were like the same thing.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's also Hans Zimmer.
Well, yeah,
doing the same scores.
It's the same guy.
He's like, I'll just leave a few notes out of the Gladiator theme. Yeah, and you got it.
Yeah, like, but watching this movie, I'm still like, this feels more like a Tim Burton thing, and as far as I know, he's not involved at all.
It really seems like he should be, though.
The feel for it.
Yeah,
I mean, it just might have been the type of feel for the story.
Thinking about it, like, I don't know if this really feels like a Richard Donner movie at all. Like, maybe he saw something that Tim Burton did. Maybe he saw Beetlejuice and like, oh, hey, I can do that.
I was actually surprised to see
Which one?
The name just flew right out of my head.
Oh no.
The main actor,
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray, just flew right out of my head. The name just like it's circling around the fan right now.
I
Anyway,
think I watched it go.
yeah,
The Bill Murray on the wall is watching it. float around.
yeah, exactly. I was really surprised to see that he wasn't in any of the like directing or writing or anything for this because
Oh, he
I mean,
wasn't?
because like I was thinking about it, like this movie was made for him.
Well, according to the IMDb trivia, he ad-libbed a lot of it.
I'm not surprised.
No, that definitely seems like it.
And Richard Donner, this is the quote that I pulled because I took notes for this episode. Richard Donner discussed Murray's persistent. Hold on. Richard Donner discussed Bill Murray's improvisation and described the experience of directing Murray as follows. It's like standing on 42nd Street and Broadway and the lights are out and you're the traffic cop.
Well, I mean, isn't that basically the same thing Bill Murray did for Caddyshack?
I don't know. I've never seen Caddyshack.
Yeah, no,
I haven't either, but I heard he
definitely,
ad-libbed all of it.
ad-libbed most of that.
Yeah, I heard like the movie wasn't even supposed to be about him, but he ad-libbed so much they're like, oh, we have 2 movies here. We're going to make it about him.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that sounds about right.
Yeah, we definitely need to add Caddyshack
Yeah.
to the list.
I
I have it. So.
I just realized as we're going through this episode and naming movies we need to watch, I should probably write them down.
So we've got Caddyshack.
I'm just going to make a column for each of us.
Okay. But getting into Bill Murray's performance, I think that might have been one of the things that kind of turned me off to the movie, is because whenever I like Bill Murray in anything, he has legit co-stars. There are other main characters to go along with him. And in this, it was really just him and a bunch of side people that kind of had the same amount of screen time. Like, he didn't have like a crew of other people that had as much screen time as he did to kind of bounce off of. And I felt like it was, and it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It's just,
it's just you didn't like it because of that.
I like it better when Bill Murray has somebody to bounce off of.
Yeah.
Instead of just him. Now, granted, the story of Scrooge, you can't really do that because it's just this one person learning a lesson. So I get that. It's just when it comes to him, like it was just too condensed.
He bounces off of the ghosts pretty well.
Yeah, I know, but that's not like okay. So in Ghostbusters, he's always bouncing off of somebody.
Yeah.
Always. In every other film I've ever seen him in, he's always bouncing off of at least 1 or 2 people who have the same amount of screen time that he does. Meaning that, you know, like, let's say Bill Murray's vodka and his co-stars are like are basically orange juice, okay? Most of the movies that I like him in, it's a well-balanced Screwdriver.
Okay.
This was just a straight shot of vodka.
Okay.
That was pretty good. I like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I'm a Screwdriver fan, and I'm a Screwdriver.
Yeah. I mean, to that point, like there were times when I really loved just Bill Murray being Bill Murray, but then there were times where I agree. I mean, I loved this movie, but there were still times where I was like, maybe too much.
Yeah.
So I think I know where you're coming from with that.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the reason Richard Donner got frustrated. Like and I don't think Bill Murray really wanted to be there either. So I think he was just trying to make the best out of it.
Yeah.
Like he does not like this movie.
Oh, doesn't he?
No. I couldn't find an exact thing on it. I think he didn't know what he was getting into.
No.
But I think he probably wanted somebody to bounce off of, and it was just him. So
yeah,
right.
Because it's like he had his like girlfriend, not girlfriend, there to bounce off of, and I liked those scenes.
Yeah.
One thing that I noticed though is that I felt like besides the scenes where they were in the same like frame, or you could tell that they were on the same set, like when they were showing them bumping into each other for the first time, there were a few interactions where the camera angles, it seemed like they couldn't get them on the same day. There were a few of those. The one in particular that's sticking out of my head is in the end when she's there. There's very few takes where they're together, and it's just like the camera's straight on.
Yeah.
Or it's like directly behind. So I mean,
Yeah.
it could have been anybody's back of their head, and I think
Right.
that might have been one of the issues that I had more of like it felt like a made-for-TV film.
Okay.
Is because of the straight-on camera shots instead of kind of like the arcing or off to the side. Like it felt more like it's like, okay, so we have to shoot this quick. Like this needs to be done quick and then done. You know, like there didn't really seem like there was a lot of time to like play with. You know,
Yeah,
the
I
way
mean
it was
that's
shot.
possible. I'm looking up the
What?
cinematographer quick.
Can I like ask something controversial?
sure.
Maybe like are Christmas movies in general just kind of shot like they're all made for TV anyway?
Not really.
Like, is that kind of a hallmark of the genre? Because I don't know too
No.
much about it, but the ones I've seen like aren't that great.
I mean, a lot of the time they are shot pretty quickly because, like, if they start production on this, say in May,
Yeah,
they
need
want
to
it.
get it
They
done.
want it out by Christmas.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
a lot of it might have been that, but you also have to take into consideration is, some of those shots would call for two Bill Murrays, like when he's watching.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, right.
especially the Christmas Past one when he's meeting her
Yeah.
for the first time and all that,
Yeah.
because he's standing there off to the side, but he's also in the scene. So
Yeah.
it's probably something to do with the special effects as well.
Sure.
Yeah.
Um,
True.
but and it could have been a pricing thing too, because if they got Bill Murray, if they could get a stand-in, they probably use a stand-in because
right.
if he has to do the double duty for those scenes, he's gonna do that. They
Yeah.
do that a lot with superhero shows. Like if they have like, I'm trying to think. There was a whole episode of Supergirl this year where Supergirl is in a spacesuit because the atmosphere has been infected with kryptonite.
Yeah.
So every time you see her, she's just in this suit. And then whenever she's talking, you hear her voice. And occasionally you'll get like the Robert Downey Jr. shot inside the Iron Man suit,
Yeah.
like where she's just talking.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's not her in that suit at all because she was doing a show on Broadway that was wrapping up
Yeah.
production when they started.
Oh, I love that.
So,
It's
and they don't
clever, though.
acknowledge it at all. It's just like, I know what's going on because I listen to things and you're on
Right.
Broadway. That's why you're not in this show.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
So it might have been that too, but I can
True.
understand where you're coming from. I
Yeah.
definitely think this is a movie that if you're not going to watch it on VHS tape is great for TV.
Yeah.
Like this is perfect. Like TBS will air it several times during the holiday season.
I love how you said that. If this isn't a movie you're gonna, not watch on VHS, it's made for TV.
Yeah. All right. So the cinematographer for this also
Yeah.
did Raging Bull and Taxi Driver, The Fugitive, and Evolution with David Duchovny.
I love that
Evolution?
movie. I love
Oh my
Evolution.
god.
One of
I
these
love that
things
movie.
is
I love that
not
movie.
like the other.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so this was 88. On his timeline, what other movies, like big movies, did he do before this
The
one?
cinematographer?
Yeah,
Let me look.
Was Raging
because
Bull
that
before
might
that?
explain some stuff. For me, anyway.
Yeah.
He did. Oh, wait a second. Why is. Hold on. I'm in the wrong thing. He also did. Oh, he was also the DP on Space Jam. So there you go.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
That explains a
Kindergarten Cop. All right. So after this, he did Ghostbusters 2,
lot. Okay.
a made-for-TV movie right before this called Gotham. So maybe that's why. Maybe that's why you're getting those
Oh.
vibes.
Yeah.
And then Shoot to Kill. He also DP'd on Michael Jackson's Bad. One of your favorites, The Lost Boys. Man with Two Brains.
Oh, I love The Man with Two Brains.
Never
you two seen that?
Never seen it.
Write it down.
Never seen
Write
it.
it down. Write it down. Write it down.
We're coming up with so many movie ideas now.
Yes. I think that's part of our problem. We do that a lot,
Yeah.
We don't write these
and
down.
we don't write them down. And I
Happy
don't
we're writing
go
them down.
back when I'm editing and pay attention because I kind of just drop it in export.
Good.
All right, so who was your favorite ghost, Devin?
Oh my gosh, the ghost of the friend, the old golfer, the ex like TV producer guy.
Okay,
You know what I'm talking about? I
Yeah.
forget his name, but the one that had the rat and the golf ball coming out of his head.
the Bob Marley or the Marley stand-in.
Yeah.
Yes,
from
he
Scrooge.
was amazing, and he was actually one of the times when I actually really liked Bill Murray riffing off of somebody.
Yeah.
Like I thought their banter back and forth was spot on, and I thought it was a really cool idea to like just not have, because trust me, I've seen A Christmas Story, like or Christmas Carol, whatever it's called. Like I've seen that, I've seen it a bunch, like I've read it, like I understand the plot, and I'm glad it's not just like, oh, there's an old man in chains again. Great. Like it was
Yeah.
actually a really clever idea to make it who it was.
But my favorite part of that whole scene is when he takes the drink and then after Bill Murray shoots him, all the booze just comes right out of the bullet holes.
Yes.
It's
I
an
love
old
that.
gag, but it's a good one. I loved the physical humor in that entire interaction. I thought was great.
Oh, yeah.
Because the physical humor in that scene matched how ridiculous the ghost looked, on top of
Yeah.
how ridiculous the conversation was with the back and forth. So
Yeah.
I totally agree with Devin on this one. Like
Yeah. That's your favorite one?
Well, I mean, yes, for the interaction purposes.
Uh-huh.
That's one of the scenes that I would love to watch again.
Mhm.
My favorite ghost was the one of Christmas Future, the creepy one.
Okay.
I
Just in
love
like design.
that one. I
Yeah.
love the design of that thing.
Yeah,
I
I'm with
did.
you though.
Yeah, the design of that is really good. And that's pretty standard for the Ghost of Christmas Past.
True, but they added a TV screen for the face.
Yeah, that
which the fact
Yeah.
that that he runs this network.
Yeah.
Which was perfect in
yeah,
my mind.
it's definitely
the
a good
reference.
that him running the network is really a good way to bring the Scrooge character into the modern day,
Yeah.
because
Oh, yeah.
he's even like, it's weird to think that he's the youngest TV exec, because Bill
Yeah.
Murray's always been like old to me. I
Mhm.
was like, he's not that young in this. I was like, well, he kind of is. He's probably only like 40.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
like that's not that old. It's
Yeah.
like, damn, like, it just made me feel old just thinking about it.
Well, what I loved about this is this, like Bill Murray and him being a TV exec, and especially with him doing the Christmas Carol thing on TV while they're doing it, he's probably one of the only like Christmas Carol main characters who actually knows what Christmas Carol is. Like it was very like meta, where he was like, "Oh, I'm going to be visited by 3 ghosts. I wonder where I've heard this before."
But what's weird is they never call it a Christmas Carol. They call it
Right.
Scrooge,
Scrooge.
which
Yeah.
I noticed this time and was kind of put off by it. It's like they just, because the movie's called Scrooge, we're just going to call it Scrooge.
Do you think
Did
they
they
like
have a
didn't get the
licensing
rights to the
issue?
name?
I mean, it's
Is the
public
name
domain.
of the story
I think
licensed in
that
some
should
way?
be.
Was
I,
it back in '88?
I mean, somebody might have had it might have been something to do with that, but I'm pretty sure Dickens is all public domain.
He has to be. He's over 100 years old, right? I thought
Yeah.
that was the
True
cutoff.
for us now, but this movie was made 30 years ago.
88. That's a good point.
So was it then?
I mean, it
Mm.
might have just been something like somebody else did one and they
Yeah.
didn't want to. It also helps it stand out. But the
True.
fact that they
That's true,
never
though.
say it, like even
Yeah.
even the commercial when the book closes, it says Scrooge.
Yeah.
Maybe it's
And,
just
like, you
because
know what they're
Scrooge
talking
McDuck
about.
was big in the 80s. I don't know.
Oh, I love. Yep.
I do
Um,
like the name though. Scrooged. Like,
Mhm.
like he's
It's
getting
clever.
screwed, but he's getting Scrooged.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's clever. It really
I like
is.
the name of the premise.
I also like the secretary as the stand-in for, well, what's the guy's name in Christmas Carol?
Cratchit?
Cratchit, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, the last name. I think first name's Bob, I think.
Bob Cratchit, yeah.
Bob Cratchit.
Yeah.
Because they do a good job of doing the Tiny Tim thing without having him be crippled. It's just, no, he doesn't talk.
Because he saw
But
his
I like
dad
that.
die.
Yeah, it was a great reason though. Like I
Yeah.
liked that.
I liked it. It again brought it into like modern days. It's not like he's dying. It's just that he's having like psychological issues, which it's the 80s. I'm also surprised we didn't see anyone do cocaine in this, because it's an office in the 80s, and that's
Oh,
just
so yeah,
what I think.
they were doing cocaine behind the scenes. Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
They did show the office floozy photocopying her butt and handing them out
Oh
as
yeah, and, like,
presents.
giving
I
it
mean, that
out.
was just a company Christmas party
It's just a company Christmas party. That always happens.
in the 70s.
Yeah, I
In
figure
the
company
70s.
party isn't like
60s.
that?
It was 68,
Was
I
it
thought.
60?
Yeah, it was
Shit.
68.
They do a good job of covering a lot of time,
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
but also like keeping the space small.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm pretty sure like the set where he meets Claire for the first time is just the Christmas Carol set that they have for Scrooge.
Oh yeah,
just repurposed.
Oh.
Like,
I
they
wouldn't be
changed the
surprised.
door out, and then
Yeah.
like I feel like this was made in a rush.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a
Sure.
very small movie. Like they spent a lot of money on like the Ghost of Christmas Future, and that's about it.
All their money went into Bill Murray
And makeup.
and makeup. That's all the money went.
Because even at the end, when you see the Ghost of Christmas Present and the ghost of the homeless guy, I don't know what that is. Oh, my neighbor's probably showering. You see the ghost, and you see the two ghosts that are they're flying, but you can see the strings that are holding them up.
Oh,
like
yeah.
they're in harnesses,
Oh yeah.
and it's like, oh yeah, this is super cheap. Like,
But I mean, is it super cheap or is it intentional? Because I mean, it gets into like, is this in his head or is it not in his head? But if he's imagining something flying like that, ATV exec would also imagine the string there.
this is true.
I might be giving the movie way too much credit, by the way.
Possibly.
When it comes to A Christmas Carol, even though I'm not into the whole thing, but I like the idea of the spirits being real. Personally,
Yeah.
I do too.
For the actual for the message and the meaning of the actual story, I like them being real. Like,
Yeah.
Sure.
I like the fact that these things actually did happen.
Yeah. So getting back to the budget thing, $32 million was the budget for this.
Back in 1987,
Yeah.
I'm going to assume.
Yeah, well, it might have been 88 if they did
87,
did this.
88?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
It's like real money, kind of.
Yeah, but also how much of that was Bill Murray? In the
30
80s,
million.
before Ghostbuster 2.
Yeah.
So I can definitely see it. Like that's for a Hollywood comedy of this caliber with Bill Murray. That's on the lower end.
Yeah.
I would say
That's a good point.
So definitely budget things, but it works for the movie. It makes it feel dirty and like that feel that I was talking about, like the Tim Burton thing. That this is part of where I get that from. Is just the
I think 10% of that budget went into the pyro for the opening scene.
It was so worth it, though.
So one thing I did notice about the further on in that opening scene was the commercial that he has that he wants to run for Scrooge.
Oh yeah.
Now, what did the commercial look like for you guys? Because evidently there are a few versions of this, and I'm curious what it looked like for you.
Oh, really?
You're talking about like the plane blowing up and the shotgun coming out and shooting somebody
and like
in the traffic stop.
and the nuclear explosion at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, because after 9/11, they cut the plane blowing up.
Amazon showed the plane blowing up.
Yeah, I think
because he was like terrorism, boom.
I think a lot of the streaming services and the DVDs still had it, but I think like TBS didn't show that.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Which makes sense. I just wasn't sure if it was cut from everything because after 9/11, we censored a lot of stuff.
Well, was it? There was a movie that got pushed back. There was a Collateral Damage with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like that movie got pushed back by 2 years.
Yeah,
because of 9/11.
Fun fact about that movie: you know who the production assistant was who helped Schwarzenegger out through that whole movie?
Who?
Bill Hader.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
Like he was his assistant on that movie.
That's amazing.
I think it was that movie. I know he worked for Schwarzenegger at one point. So one thing I did notice watching this again, which I never picked up on before
on VHS.
I didn't say it that time. I was just saying, just watching this movie.
I was saying it for
something
you.
I picked up on this time was the homeless guy. Whenever I was watching it before, I always assumed that the finding him was avoidable. I thought that was part of the Christmas Futures thing.
Sure.
I didn't realize until this time that, oh no, that homeless guy dies. Like he's dead. Like it's not something he can change.
Yeah.
It's no matter what he does, that guy's frozen. Like he's dead.
Oh. I never really thought about that.
Because his spirit's
Yeah,
with
his
the
ghost
other
is at
ones
the
at the end.
He's floating there with Carol Kane.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Wow. Yeah,
Which is
never thought about that.
Which is completely fucked up because usually in the Christmas
Yeah.
Carol, a lot of the things can be changed and Tiny Tim lives and all of that
Right.
stuff is avoidable. But this one is like, no, we're going to kill a homeless guy. I'm
We're
Dick Donna.
definitely
Look
gonna
at
do
my
it.
giant Superman dick.
Okay, well, see, that played in that scene and another scene that happened earlier. I was watching this going, oh, okay, this seems a little edgy.
Mhm.
Yeah, it is definitely more of kind of like maybe the earliest you would want your kid to see this would maybe like early teens. And then there was the nipple gag.
Yes, that's right. I forgot about the nipple gag.
And then there was the nipple gag, and I'm going, okay, this is definitely a purely adult version of A Christmas Carol, like 100%. Like,
I
and
couldn't
then
believe that was even a
scene
part.
with the dead homeless guy. I'm like, yeah, okay, this is
Yeah.
straight
I
up an
think
adult version.
the homeless guy scene, though, is important to the story because that's part of what makes him turn.
Yeah, well, because he sees death.
Yeah.
Like, he sees death that he could have prevented.
Yeah.
Like, legit
Right.
dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Popsicle dead.
Anything else you guys want to talk about? I feel like I've dominated a lot of this one. So,
Well,
so
you've-
far.
I have a couple things.
Sure.
So first off, Ghost of Christmas Present. Annoying or not? Because I actually throughout the movie went back and forth. I was going, wow, she's super annoying. I kind of hate this. To like, no, this is okay. And like, I don't know where I landed on it.
I mean, I think she's supposed to be annoying.
Yeah.
Because he's annoyed with her, so you're supposed to be annoyed too. But she's awesome.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. I like Carol Kane. She's one of the better parts of Kimmy Schmidt
Oh, agreed.
on Netflix. Her and Titus, like that, they should just give them a show and
They
that's
make the show. Absolutely.
it. I could do without Kimmy. Um,
Aw.
but yeah, I like her.
Yeah.
I also think of the like Princess Bride whenever she's in it.
Yeah, I get
Um,
that.
So I liked her. I actually liked all of the ghosts. I like the ghost of Christmas Past just because I feel like he fits the old style, like people's depiction of like an asshole cabbie. Like he
Oh,
just
yeah.
it's like a 1950s, 1960s like asshole cab driver. Like that just it fit for me.
I
And
mean,
then
he
you
was
had
almost a
her, which
caricature.
was bubbly and silly, and then you had my favorite, the one of the future. But I liked all the ghosts in it. I especially liked her gag about the wings, about him pulling them off.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
What else did you have, Devin?
I really liked, like I said, I've read like Christmas Carol and all of like seen a bunch of it. Like I liked how each and everything that they did was a little bit different than how it was in the original Christmas Carol because it would have been so easy for like the Ghost of Christmas Future, for example, to just go to a graveyard and be like, hey, guess what? That's your grave. But it was actually the cremation part. And then like it would cut to him in the coffin getting burned. And I thought that was really cool. And like a really good take on all of that. And like I thought it was a well set up shot too.
See, this for me, this is the version of the Christmas Carol that I know the most. So I'm
Oh, really?
like, this is the one that introduced me to that. So everything else, like, oh, okay. I like Scrooged
Yeah.
more,
Yeah.
with the exception
Well,
of
I
a
mean-
few. But
Yeah, I mean, like I used to be on this huge Christmas Carol thing to the point where my mom and stepdad took me to this thing called A Dickens of a Christmas up in
At the Ren Fair?
Harrisburg. What?
isn't that at the Ren Fair?
Yeah, it's the Ren Fair. Have you ever gone?
No, but I see signs for it all the time when I go.
It's just delightful, and you should go. But
If you
yeah,
make it back
so-
to the East Coast, maybe we'll have to take a trip out.
oh, absolutely.
So you said you were a big fan of the Christmas Carol there for a bit. What's your favorite adaptation?
I think Disney did a version of it. Like I said, I've never seen the Muppet version,
What?
but yeah, and
Write
I heard
that
that's a
down.
big.
Write that
Everyone
down.
does that. Like, and I heard that's a big deal, but I haven't seen the Muppet one. But I think Mickey Mouse does one, and I used to really love that one.
I
And then
think
there was a Jim. There was a Jim Carrey one, right, where he was like CGI. And
yeah,
I
that
think
was
I
a
really...
Robert Zemeckis one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I liked that one. That one was really good.
I think a lot of major directors from the 80s have done a Christmas Carol. I don't think Spielberg's done one yet.
Hasn't he?
I don't think he has. Or wait, did he do Ghost of Girlfriend's Past with Matthew McConaughey? No, that
Was
wasn't
that the
Spielberg.
same thing?
That was a thing, yeah.
It would have T-Rex would be Scrooge. And can you imagine a T-Rex wearing a top hat and walking down with a cane, being all greedy?
Instead of Bob goes,
Bob Crackett's actually
Okay,
crooked.
so in 2010 they were casting for Steven Spielberg's A Christmas Carol, but it never actually came to be.
and now he's making West Side Story. So
I guess it all just comes to pass.
So Ryan, what's your favorite adaptation of
Muppet Christmas Carol.
Muppet Christmas Carol?
Flat out Muppet Christmas Carol.
Yeah, you can't beat the music in that.
No, you can't.
And I think we're just gonna have to do that one.
Light the lamp, not the rat. Light.
Yeah,
Light the lamp, not the rat.
Devin, we're making you watch that.
I'm okay with that.
This month
everyone gives
isn't
me
going to
that
be
reaction.
Christmas. It's not going to be Christmas movies. It's going to be Christmas Carol adaptations. That's all we're doing.
Perfect. I'll make you guys watch all the ones I had to.
Yeah, my favorite thing that they kept similar in Scrooged, that's in the actual story, was the Christmas party when they went back and they showed Scrooge working while everybody else was still when everybody was actually having a good time at the party.
Yeah.
He was handing out mail and he was working on stuff, and his boss tells him, hey, it's a party, you can slow down, and he doesn't want to. I liked how there are certain points in this movie where they actually tied, if not the lines, the actions and the background was just a modern depiction of exactly what happened during the original story.
Yeah.
I liked how they did that occasionally, but then they also threw in their own version of something, kind of like him being in the casket going in to be burned, pretty much, instead of just showing like
the
TV
TV screen
tombstone.
on the Ghost of Christmas Future.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that too. Anything else, Devin?
Yeah, so my least favorite part of this movie, and I loved the movie, but my least favorite part of it was the end, and I wanted to hear what you guys thought about it, because I personally hate when everybody in a room would just start singing and everybody knows all of the words to whatever random song the main character decides that he's going to sing now, and I don't love that, and I didn't love that in this movie, and I also I don't know. I also didn't love Bill Murray's overly long-winded monologue at the end, and for some reason the ending just fell flat to me. I don't know. I didn't love it as much as I wanted to.
I feel like a lot of people there would know the words to that song. It's a really popular song.
I don't know. I mean, okay, so I'm just dumb and I don't.
I was
know the words to the
grasping at
song.
straws when I was hearing it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Maybe it's just because I've seen this movie so much.
Maybe it's an '80s thing. Maybe it was more popular back then. But I don't know that song.
I kind of felt the same way about the end. His monologue could have stopped maybe 45 seconds sooner.
I think that's part of the joke, though, too. Is he's taking up all this airtime and he's about to be fired, and everyone thinks he's a madman, but everyone starts to turn with him. Everyone's like, "Oh no, this guy's cool."
Right.
He becomes the hero at the end, even though his boss has the phone in his hand to call him and yank him off the air.
I know, but his boss and his boss's wife are already celebrating at the halfway point of his monologue. So by halfway, he wasn't getting fired.
Yeah.
That's how I took it anyway. And then he just kind of kept going on and on and on. And I'm just sitting there going, okay. I really wanted to pause just to see how much of the movie was left because I didn't know exactly where he was going with his rant.
I mean, I think where it loses me a little bit is where Bill Murray turns to the camera and breaks the wall. I think at a certain point it just becomes, this is an end credit montage that we're just going to give you. Here's everyone that was in the movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then roll credits.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can see where it drags on for too long, but I still kind of enjoy it. I don't hate that part. I don't really hate any part of this.
I don't hate it. There was just the part that I didn't like the most. If I had to pick a part that I didn't like.
That's fair. let's talk about Bobcat Goldthwait's running gag of just being shit on the whole movie.
Okay, can I just say that I think him coming in with a shotgun was a bit much.
Did
I
he
mean-
teach me that that's the way to get a promotion?
And I'm not even playing at the whole like modern day like
Yeah.
gun issue thing. I'm just
Right, just
saying
like-
that him coming in with a shotgun, especially like almost a full blown elephant gun in the end to blow his head off was
Yeah.
just a bit much.
I mean,
think
I
a
think-
pistol would have been
No,
fine.
I think this movie. That's the point of the movie, though. Everything's a bit much. Like
So
that's the style of this movie. Everything's a bit much. Like,
Oh.
oh, so you want to
Oh, okay.
advertise a Christmas Carol? We're doing Scrooge. Okay, show this commercial where planes explode and end of the world nuclear explosions. Like it's Scrooge. Like you don't want to miss it. Like everything is exaggerated. Like
True.
that's
And there's one example of that in this film that I love.
okay. Which is
His
What?
brother is talking to him and they're in his office.
Mhm.
And his brother's on the exercise bike. And above and below the window in
The cross
white
thing.
background and black text and white and the reverse it says cross and it has like the little like thing of like how to pronounce it and it says something you nail people to.
Yeah.
I
was like,
loved
"Oh."
that. That was over the top. It didn't need to
Yeah.
be there, but at the same time, for people actually watching the film, it showed a little bit of his character
See-
that he's that he's that person.
yeah.
I loved that.
Oh, absolutely.
Did you notice that? I saw you nodding
I
on
did.
the video.
No, I do. I totally did. Like the
Yeah.
whole time, I was like, "This means something." Like because it literally frames the shot,
Yeah.
and it's. I mean, you're right. It's so over the top and speaks to Bill Murray's character a lot. I really thought it was. I agree. I like it.
Something you nail people to.
How big was
Right.
this text? Because I think I missed it in the grainy resolution of
See,
my VHS tape.
This is why you don't watch movies on VHS tape. Okay, so you know how kind of like a wall border. For,
I don't
kid's
actually need
room?
to know. I get what you're talking about.
Okay, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. If you're gonna play that, then I'm gonna use it. If you're gonna.
Can we go back to how Ryan wasn't offended that Bobcat went on a shooting spree? He was just offended by the caliber of bullet.
Yes. let's
So
talk
had
about
he
that.
come in with a Derringer, you'd have been like completely understandable.
Well, okay. Here's the thing. They show him getting shit on throughout the entire film. Okay,
Yeah.
so he's angry. So him coming back with a gun or some type of weapon to get back at his boss, totally understandable. He's probably drunk out of his mind. They keep on showing him trying to drink,
Yeah.
and his boss is always there in some way or form to pull the bottle out of his hand. Like something always happens. So I get that he wants to kill him, but the gun he used was really close to being the gun that the Manhunter used in Jumanji to
Oh, yeah.
come back and blow people away. Like he was using a full-blown double-barrel elephant gun. And another thing
I'll
that
tell you-
happened that really ticks me off as kind of a gun person is that it's a double-barrel, two-shot. There were a couple scenes where he shot that thing 3 or 4 times and did not reload because those things happened real quick. It happened real quick. See, when you know stuff like this, little things like that
Yeah.
bother you.
some suspension of reality. Like I just
Yeah.
it's he's shooting a gun at him and blowing holes in the cubicles so he can see him through. Like that's
Right.
like extreme cartoony to me. And you even get him saying like, "Hello, rabbit." Wah.
Okay,
Like
true. But depending on the shot that he's using at that close range, you are going to blow holes inside that kind of like
yeah.
poster board material to see through. Like,
Yeah.
that's something where like they actually had the shot was right for a shotgun. Like it's like they make shells that have the ball bearings in them to make those kind of holes. So that was realistic. It was the fact that he would pull the trigger, 3 or 4 times on a 2-barrel shotgun.
Yeah. No, I get
But
what
he-
you're saying, but it's
Yeah.
a movie.
I know it's a
Right.
movie, but still. And believe me, I know that I've been on your end of this conversation
Yeah.
for many things on many films that we've seen in the
Yeah.
past. So I totally understand. It's just as a person who knows firearms, it was very, very jarring.
And also, just it's so easy to count to 2. Because like if it's like a pistol or something like that, or a revolver where it's like 6 shots, it's like I'm not gonna count that much. That's too much.
Oh, 45.
45?
A Desert Eagle. Just go, just giant silver flashy handgun blowing holes in the side of the wall the size of your fist.
All I can think of right now is the scene in Clue where Tim Curry's just like 1 + 1 + 1 + 2. Oh man, I love that movie. So Devin, I know you enjoyed this movie much more than Ryan. Is this going to make your annual holiday rotation now?
Absolutely, it is 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, mostly because my wife won't watch the stop motion animation ones. She said they makes her sick.
Oh, really?
So like, yeah, it's like this is a movie that like I know I can get her to watch. I know she'll watch. Like, so this definitely makes the list now.
Okay. That's interesting that Rudolph makes her sick.
I think it's a frame rate thing, honestly. I think the movements are like too jarring and like
I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you? Has it made your holiday rotation?
Oh, mine? It's always been part of it.
Oh,
That's
good.
why I own it on VHS. It's like, oh, we don't actually have this. We've had to rent it before. I'm buying this. I don't care that's on VHS. We have a VCR. Why not?
See, my holiday movie rotations, you've got the Jim Carrey Grinch. That's a staple.
I have a story about that. Can I tell you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Ooh.
So I told you guys that I took my 2-year-old niece to see the Grinch a few weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
So I get a text message the other day from my sister. She had put on the Jim Carrey Grinch for my niece.
Oh yeah.
And my niece gets all excited when she sees the Grinch. She's like, oh, Bye-Byes with Uncle Alan.
Aww.
And I was like, she remembered. And so I was like, that made my day. And then I'm thinking about it, like, wow, she doesn't associate me with the Benedict Cumberbatch one. She associates me with Jim Carrey. And that's so much cooler.
It is.
Oh, absolutely it is.
It made my day. I just love that story. So
Aw.
Jim Carrey Grinch.
Jim Carrey Grinch.
Yeah.
Home Alone 1 and 2.
Okay.
Home Alone 1
Good.
and 2.
Good choices.
Love Actually.
Mm-hmm.
I actually
Never
really,
seen that
really
one.
love them. You haven't seen that one?
Nope.
We can save that for next year or something if you want.
Yeah.
Maybe.
If that's not like
We've got a lot coming up in December.
Yeah,
So
it'd be hard to squeeze that in. Trying to A White Christmas, which we did a podcast on, I think 1 or 2 years ago.
yeah.
That one's always in there, and then there's also random films that we'll see occasionally, maybe not every year. So now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like scratching to try to remember what they are.
Muppet Christmas Carol is definitely one for us.
I always watch that every year on Christmas.
Aw.
I don't watch that one on Christmas. I usually watch Die Hard on Christmas if I can.
Yes.
See, my favorite Die Hard was Die Hard with a Vengeance, and so
that's not a Christmas movie though.
I know it's not, but it's part of the series. So when people started saying that Die Hard to them was a Christmas film, like I didn't see the first Die Hard first. I saw With a Vengeance first. So I always thought that was its own film for a while.
Yeah.
So I didn't know this until I was in high school that there was another Die Hard film.
So Devin, you're in Los Angeles.
Yes.
You're probably going to be there for Christmas.
Definitely.
If you're there on Christmas and I don't get a picture of you in front of Nakatomi Plaza,
Oh, you absolutely will. Please.
I will frame that shit and post it every year at Christmas.
Yeah, that's absolutely what I'm doing on Christmas.
Die Hard's definitely one for me.
Yeah.
Trying to think what else. There's a lot of TV shows that I watch an episode of, like the Community Christmas special where they're all stop motion and like in Abed's mind.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen that one?
I have.
Do
you do the Doctor Who Christmases?
I don't watch them particularly just to watch them. But when the new ones come out, I'll usually watch them. But I'm weird with Doctor Who. I'm still catching up on Capaldi. So,
okay.
Like we're in the final stretch of episodes. Like we did see his Christmas special last year because we wanted to see him with the first Doctor.
Yeah.
Because we watched the movie with him where they did the biopic.
Oh,
And
right.
that was really good. So we wanted to see him interact with the actual doctor. But I'm trying to think what else. I know there's more. Oh, there's an episode of Frasier that's made my rotation for every year, where Frasier and Niles and Martin have to pretend to be Jewish because of
that's a good one.
Frasier meets a older woman shopping, and he's buying a menorah for his son because he's half Jewish.
Sure.
And the woman's like, "Let me introduce you to my daughter," and so he starts dating her daughter, and it comes out like the day before Christmas. Like, wait, you're not actually Jewish? My mother can't know. She thinks you're Jewish. Like that's a deal breaker for her. So then they just all pretend to be Jewish, and at one point, Niles and Frasier are in the kitchen pouring wine to bring out to everyone, and I'm not going to do the joke justice, but they have the wine in their hands, and Niles is like, wait, and takes sugar and just pours it in the wine to make it more kosher. It's definitely one of the best Christmas episodes of anything I've ever seen. So definitely check that out. Maybe we'll do a mini episode on that.
Yeah, Frasier's on my list. I've never seen it, and it's on my list.
You've never seen any of it?
No, and it's like
Frasier's
Romana's
good.
favorite TV show.
Oh man, Frasier is fantastic.
And I just remembered a movie which I should be shot in the face for not remembering, but A Christmas Story.
Oh, I can do I can do without the Christmas Story.
Here's the thing: I used to hate it as a kid. I absolutely hated watching it through elementary school, middle school, high school, even college. It wasn't until I got to be 26, 27 that I actually started liking the movie, and I think it's because of the point of view of the film. Because the film is about a guy remembering his Christmases as a kid. So when I was a kid or when I was younger, to me it was stupid.
Yeah.
What do I care about some guy trying to bring up his past? But then as I got older, I was like, I can relate to this. It wasn't until I could actually relate to somebody thinking back on their childhood for Christmas that I actually started liking it.
Okay.
And then I started getting the humor in it. So that's it's gotten to the point now where it's like the week of Christmas we watch that one because it's so Christmas that it's out of place any other time of the year.
Yeah.
Unlike White Christmas, which I can watch in the middle of June.
Still don't think it's a Christmas movie, but that's me.
It's a Christmas movie.
Devin, how about you? What are your go-tos for Christmas?
I mean, honestly, not too much. Like I said, I had this really weird aversion growing up to anything Christmas. But I would watch the stop motion animations, so they made my rotation and still do, whenever I can, because I really do love those.
Which is your favorite of those?
The Year Without Santa Claus,
Yes,
hands down.
Same.
Yeah, you and I did a really good rendition of that one on our album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to see if I can find that. I might have that somewhere.
Oh gosh. Yeah, so those definitely make my rotation. Usually I just kind of turn on whatever's on TV. Usually it's Harry Potter. Those make rotations a lot on TV.
I don't understand why.
Okay, no. I'm the same way because this is the time of year that I watch Harry Potter.
Yeah, I mean I know they make a point of showing that Christmas happens, but
Harry Potter to me is a fall winter movie series.
I think that's because the first two came out in the fall and winter.
But see, the thing is, I don't remember that because I didn't see them in theater. To me, it was always just that they felt it's Harry Potter, it's wizards and this and that, and to me, it always felt more of a Halloween thing.
Yeah.
But then again, past Chamber of Secrets,
you know what it is?
It actually turned into more of kind of a storyline, and I just feel like it's more of a fall and winter movie.
I'm calling this now. It's because of the John Williams score.
Do you think so?
I think so. The score there is is very similar to the Home Alone score.
No, I agree. It kind of gives you that whole Christmas feeling.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, I'll bet you that's it.
It's like somewhere in your memory, you watch Harry Potter and you just think Christmas because
this is kind of Christmas.
Yeah, that's just the way that it is.
I just made a really deep John Williams joke that no one got, and I hope somebody does. Whoever got the joke I just made, please comment on it. Please, I want to feel justified that someone else out there knows.
I am lost on this.
I'll tell you guys afterwards.
Yipsy, don't explain it to us. We don't deserve it.
Yeah.
No, I do deserve it, and I will find out.
Okay, so Scrooged.
Yeah.
Oh
Going
yeah,
back
that
to
movie.
The point of the episode. So Ryan, would you recommend this to anyone?
Oh yeah, I would.
Okay.
I definitely would. I mean, it's fun to watch, especially for being. I mean, because I am a Bill Murray fan. I mean, I am. It's just in this film, it was just too concentrated for me.
Okay.
That's all. Like that's all it really was.
All right. Devin, how about you?
In a second, absolutely, I would. To everyone.
All right. So I think we have to do 2 episodes next week, guys.
Yeah, I think we do.
We've got a lot. This month is going to be jam-packed. We're going to end the year with a bang. So
Oh, I'm excited.
So next week, how much do we want to space out the Christmas episodes?
I
How
don't
much
know.
Ebenezer Scrooge can we handle?
Oh, all of it.
Well, we will be doing a Muppet Christmas Carol. Like that's
Yeah.
definitely happening. So
Oh,
look
good.
forward to doing that sometime soon. But I know next week Ryan still has not seen Spider-Man: Homecoming,
Oh, we got to do that one.
and because
Yeah, that's a good movie.
because Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is coming out next week, I figured why not?
I can't wait for that one.
Because there's a lot I can talk about that movie. I know we do a lot of. I think we've done every Marvel movie that's come out
I think so.
except for Ant-Man and the Wasp. But who knows? Maybe we'll get to that one too.
Did you guys see that movie?
I saw it.
I haven't yet.
It was a good movie. I liked
It
it.
was good.
Yeah.
But we're gonna Ryan's gonna watch Homecoming for the first time.
Good.
And then we have some more stuff planned for other things coming out this month as well. So tune in
Not
for
to be
that
bad.
next week. For you for the watch this, I'm Alan,
I'm Ryan.
And I'm Devin.
and we'll see you next week.
Feed me, Seymour, feed me. Come on, let's hear it from all you folks out there. Come on. You don't know the words? Come on.